Hi. Just yesterday, I attended a screening of an award-winning documentary called The Education of Shelby Knox. And it was an unexpected attendance because I noticed in the newspaper, I always keep my eyes open for these things, that there was a feminist film festival going on at Suffolk Community College here in Long Island, New York. And it said tomorrow there was this film being played, actually pretty close to me, so I got all excited, and because I love attending these things, hoping that maybe these feminists would expose themselves, or actually I would get the opportunity to speak my mind and maybe open some minds. So there's always a chance that that may happen. It's happened to me many times before. So lucky for me, I'm available. This was yesterday, and I do a little research on the feminist. She's her name is Shelby Knox, and she's now with Change.org, and she's the director of senior campaigner and director of organizing for women's rights at Change.org. So I don't know if she's paid to go on these speeches, lectures to colleges or wherever she goes. But whatever the case is, I did like her, and the movie was really good. But I don't see how it was really a feminist issue, and that's something I would like to ask her. I didn't really get a chance to, but why did? Because the movie is about her 10 years ago, actually, when she was a sophomore in high school, who started campaigning for sex education in Texas, Lubbock, Texas school district. And she was really a go-getter among a few others there, and actually a movie was made about her struggles, in that endeavor. But to me, that's not a feminist issue. Turns out that she found feminism, surprise, in college, or she got older, and I guess she embraced it because, there it was. It's the giant gorilla in the room. Who else would you gravitate to, especially with all the lies that they spew? So anyway, what happened was, let me get right to it. I actually, right off the bat, I denied the 1 in 4 rape myth. First of all, she started right off the bat saying, 1 in 4 women will be raped, and she didn't even say in college. So I couldn't let that go. I didn't wait for any answer to the question period or anything. I just had to speak up. So that's on the unedited version of my video. It starts in at 36 minutes, where I started with that. But then I go on to later on, I deny the patriarchy lie. Then the next thing I do is I contend that feminism is a lie. This is during the answering question session, and they were not happy with me. I actually, as I think I'm going to title this, I shut up a feminist at least twice, right? I made a feminist speechless at least twice there. You'll see it. Also, I contend that there's no war on women's reproductive rights. I really state that really emphatically. You're going to love that. And actually, afterwards, I filmed the whole thing myself. I had a tripod camera on a tripod, and I did have an audio recorder, which I did record a little conversation with a woman after the presentation, and everything was over. There's a few minutes of that I think I'm going to tack on to the end of this video. But so anyway, so let me tell you how it went. She has a website with a blog which she calls the Ms. Education of Shelby Knox, and her website is shelbyknoxs.com. It seems like she hasn't written in a while, so maybe it's been an abandoned blog, but I found out that she lived actually with Gloria Steinem for 2 years I guess she was maybe sort of like an intern for her, or she probably just wanted to pick her brain. I don't know what it was, but I would certainly get indoctrinated by being around someone like Gloria Steinem. Well, I don't know. Was it fish needs a bicycle? Fish don't need a bicycle? I don't know. This presentation by Shelby Knox, I did not edit it at all because it wouldn't be right for me to pick and choose, her points. So I let her make her points, and I make my points. But as I said, though, I have an edited version just for time constraints. I took out some of the irrelevant questions and what have you. But then I have a pretty fast-moving edited version. So my idea was that here's this young feminist. Sure, they're all they know it. They think they know it all, but they really don't. They're still young. They have a lot of learning to go, a lot of learning to make, experience to have, and thinking to do. Put it that way. Let me contrast this woman Shelby Knox with Cassie J, who's making the movie The Red Pill, and who actually it's a weird coincidence. She made one of her earlier movies, maybe her first movie was Daddy I Do. Also, I think it was about abstinence-only education. Isn't that weird? Because that's what this movie, The Education of Shelby Knox is. Her campaigning for sex education in the schools. So that is weird, but Cassie J, she didn't swallow feminism. She happened to stumble upon men's human rights movement, and she's been enlightened. Cassie J has been enlightened and has seen that feminism does not have all the answers. They certainly are ignoring half of the answers and half of the population, whereas Shelby Knox she has become a feminist, a dyed-in-the-wool feminist, and I thought I might be able to speak my mind to her and convince her. You'll see in the video, I really make some good points, and I would imagine that if she had something to come back, some point to make back at me, she would have. But since she didn't come back at me, and she said that I make it a point not to argue with on these lectures. Okay, well, I guess you wouldn't argue. You would say that if you didn't have an argument, probably. I mean, because you are making the argument that feminism is real. I mean, this is what you're saying. Feminism is real. Patriarchy is real. I did want to get to the rape culture. I didn't get to ask that question, but I did make my point on that. But, you're asserting that feminism and patriarchy is real and right and correct, and I have to totally deny it. And you didn't have not an answer. So, if any of you feminists out there do have an answer, I'd like to hear it, okay? She makes the point about how Bella Abzug found out that she couldn't get a credit card unless she got a permission from her husband. So she changed that law. I don't know what law that was. It was probably just a credit card law. Maybe she didn't have any credit history. I don't know. These are the kind of anecdotes and lies, actually. I don't know if there was such a law in Bella Abzug's time. It wasn't that long ago. It was probably just a credit law or something like that. But also, she had made an anecdotal story about how her friend's boyfriend got her pregnant and got away scot-free. And I had to make that point. You can't get away with stories like that and just off the cuff say, this is what happened. I made the point that he probably didn't get off scot-free. He had a child in the world. And, well, you'll see my points. Also, she tried to actually hedge her bets, and in case, well, not in case. I mean, feminism does not have a good name, the newer generation. Many of them don't call themselves feminists. So feminists have tried to defang the word feminist, you know, and try to absolve the notion that they're man-hating, and but yeah, give that try doing that, sure. But I think she just did that sort of to like hedge her bets and to say, look, you know, there are some bad parts of feminism. You know, maybe it is a white girls club. Yeah, and also the main point to us is, as men's rights activists, is it's a girls club. I even told her, I said, if you would include men, and you know, you said the word male once in your whole speech, if you would include the rights of men, then we would believe that it's an equality movement. She had mentioned about sexual mutilation in other countries, and I did want to get to that, you know, saying that you don't have to go to any other countries, it's right here, happens every single day, legally, to boys, but I didn't get to that. She also asserted that there's a fourth wave of feminism, and she spells it F-O-R-T-H. I did want to, my point would have been that. So does this fourth wave of feminism embrace the rape culture and also patriarchy? Because that isn't any new wave that I can see, and I could shoot down those theories right off the bat, you know. I definitely did like her. She had a lot of spunk, but she's lost that, I think. I mean, if you watch the movie, she had a lot of spunk. She was her own boss. Nobody was going to tell her how to believe or what to think. And now that she's with Change.org, you know, there's been a brouhaha with Change.org because they don't have a women's rights topic area, no men's rights. So actually there was some complaining done about that, and they said, well, we're going to get rid of the topics anyway. Yeah, all right, well we'll see about that. But but the point is that, you know, she's now in this with this movement, so-called, that says that only women are oppressed, men are not oppressed, men control for the benefit of men. And that's just not true. You know, as I've pointed out, you'll see. David, as I wrote here, she swallowed the feminist big lie and accepted universal victimhood. Also, she talked about the click moment. How old is that? How 80s is that, the click moment? Or was that the 70s? You know, and then there was a question from the audience. I think it was one of the women's studies teachers. You know, or one of the teachers mentioned about her click moment. You know, listen, if you've got to be more skeptical than this. Just because someone says there's a click moment doesn't mean there is. I mean, what does that mean, a click moment? I mean, all of a sudden everything clicks forever? I mean, is that set in stone then? I mean, what if crazy people have click moments? They probably do. And those click moments are crazy, like click, I'll kill blankety blank. Click moments is crazy to me. How about, why don't we just call good thoughts, or insightful thoughts? Why don't we call the click moment an insightful thought? But let's not just say because it clicked into your head it's good. Let's say it's a good thought because it's insightful, has some truth. I mean, a click moment could have no truth. You could just make something up and say, yeah, that was my click moment. So now everything is true for that. Forever. Okay. People think, huh? Think a little bit. You know, I'm afraid that this woman, she could have went down a different road. You know, embracing all a diversity of civil rights. You know, men are now trying to assert their civil rights. But no, I hate to say it, she may be the next Jacqueline Friedman or Anita Sarkeesian, maybe Rebecca Watson, Amanda Marcotte. You know, another media darling who just loves the attention. You know, I hope that's not true. So there are a couple other movies actually in this feminist film festival, and since I have the time, I think I may attend one or two more. And I think one of them is about misogyny, a movie about misogyny. So I may attend that. And actually, you know, thank you so much for lunch, you feminists. I enjoyed the lunch, and I hope to have another good lunch on you guys. So enjoy this video I took of the conference and my comments, and let me know what you guys think about it. Okay, it follows. Take care. Bye.
One of the issues that I hear over and over again and is exemplified in a campaign that I've worked on is the issue of rape on college campuses. So 1 in 4 women will be raped while they're in college, which is a terrifying.
Not true. Not true.
1 in 4 women will be raped in their lifetime, and 1 in 4 women will be.
Okay.
I'm not going to argue with you.
That's false.
Okay, I'm not going to argue with you.
Let's do that later.
Leave that
Yeah.
for later.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Okay.
So anyway, I began working on a campaign with a young woman named Alex Blatsky. She went to Yale, and she was raped at Yale. When she tried to report her rape, she was told it was probably just a misunderstanding, she shouldn't get the police involved, that this was going to ruin her college career, and this was Yale officials. And then she met another young woman who had a similar thing that happened at Boston University, where she was discouraged from reporting her rape by school officials. There are various reasons that this happens. One, it can be a lack of training, a lack of resources to help rape survivors, but it also starts to look bad on a college campus, frankly, if they have a lot of reports of rape and sexual assault. And so they started, they did a lot of research, and they realized that Title IX, which most people know as the legislation that protects women in sports in the US, actually has a provision that says that colleges are required to provide the resources to support rape and sexual assault victims, and they are required to implement procedures that are intended to prevent rape and sexual assault. If they do not, then they can be investigated by the Department of Education, and the Department of Education could potentially fine them. But there has, so Title IX has been law for 40 years, and there has not ever been a single investigation into a school for failure to provide these resources or to do prevention work. So Alex and Wagjoy started this campaign to the Department of Education, asking them to do these investigations and to provide more resources so that schools could do this. It was actually very cool. They got to go to the Department of Ed and talk to Arne Duncan. But the end of the whole thing, so these 2 young survivors who started a coalition called Ed Act Now, got together. It developed into a network of over 200 young women survivors, well, actually young women and young men survivors. And then it resulted in the creation of the White House Task Force to Prevent Rape on College Campuses 2 weeks ago. So these were young people who used their stories and their voices. There's a whole task force, there's funding, and this is something that a 19-year-old and a 21-year-old did about rape on college campuses. So those are just sort of a few things that young people have done, but don't worry, there are definitely still feminist issues that need to be solved. So you may know that American women who work full-time, year-round are paid only 77 cents to the dollar of their white male counterparts. You may not know, and we should really use all of these figures at once, that figure is 64 cents for African American women and 54 cents for Latino women. So if you're concerned when you get out of college about making your full earning power, there is the wage gap to work on. So reproductive rights are still under attack. I often ask myself if Oklahoma, Texas, and Ohio are actually in a competition to see who can hate women more. I think Texas is probably winning. So we recently enacted a 20-week abortion ban. As of today, there are only 20 clinics in a state of 26 million people that are able to provide abortion services. For the first time in my lifetime, after a recent piece of legislation went into effect and closed a lot of the clinics, a woman can't get an abortion in Lubbock. In fact, had I used that service where I had to go home, I would have to drive 5 hours to Dallas. We have a 24-hour waiting period, so you'd have to get a hotel room, go back the next day, and then drive back. even at 27, successful professional, that would have, a great, wonderful supportive family, that would have been financially and emotionally almost impossible. In that same vein, the Supreme Court is hearing a case right now that could have huge implications, not just on reproductive rights, but on civil rights in general. So this seems really stupid to me, since 90% of women will use birth control at some point in their lifetime. But insurance companies were not actually required to cover birth control until the Affordable Care Act, which is often known as Obamacare. And there's a case being heard literally right now in DC that Hobby Lobby, do y'all have those here? Okay.
No.
No. Okay. It's like a big crafting store. It's where you go to get like Mod Podge and fake flowers or whatever. And they claim that providing insurance coverage to employees that covers birth control violates their religious beliefs. So if Hobby Lobby wins, this case is actually deciding, can companies, like people, have religious beliefs and invoke their right not to violate those. This is not just about reproductive rights. This could extend to services to gay people, not following civil rights laws about equal access and lack of discrimination. So if you're interested at all in law or just generally how you access the world, I would watch that case. Other things, still legal in 33 states in the US to shackle pregnant women in prison while they give birth, which is awful. There are only 20 women in the Senate, which is 1/5, and we are really excited about that, but that still seems ridiculous to me. And there's 69 in the House, and of those 99, only 30% are women of color. And we're fighting for paid sick days and paid family leave. There are a bevy of issues that need to be worked on. So I will take questions in just a minute about anything I've said here or about the film. But I do hope that some of you walk out of here thinking about feminism in a new way. Have you had a click moment? Several click moments. What are they? What's your personal definition of feminist? Are you ready to publicly declare yourself feminist? I hope so, although you don't use the word, you just really have to think that people have equal rights. Because I hope and I believe that one day there really will be a generation that could forget that abortion was ever imperiled, or that the government ever told their kids things like condoms don't work, or compare them to dirty toothbrushes, or that a doctor's life might be imperiled for just doing his job. But our generation is not that generation. We're feminists, we're pro-choice, we're engaged. In addition to reproductive rights, there are young people who identify as feminists in the immigration movement, in the gay liberation movement, in the schools, at all levels of government. And we're on college campuses like this one, doing big things, like working for better access, to better resources for rape survivors, and small things, like telling off the guy you see screaming at a woman from his car, or telling a friend that their rape jokes aren't really funny at all. So I'd encourage you, everyone in this room, to think of one thing, small thing, like that you can do to confront oppression. Maybe think about it tomorrow, and the day after that, and the day after that, and so it becomes a habit. If we all do that, then maybe we, these awful, apathetic millennials who don't care about anything, really will be the generation that changes the world. Change.org is like a huge worldwide company. You know, I run a senior campaigner for women's rights at Change.org. Okay. And I'm on the board of Spark, the other group that I talked about and things like that.
Feminism, the dictionary definition, is all well and good, but what we see in action is not equality. When I don't think feminism is looking for equality. I think it's looking for special rights for women only. For example, reproductive rights, you say about that's an equality issue. Men don't have any reproductive rights. Women have reproductive rights. Men don't. Men have zero. I mean, if the woman gets pregnant, it's up to her if she's going to have the kid or not. He's on the hook, whatever her choice is. So men don't have any reproductive rights. That's what a true human rights organization would fight for, not simply women's reproductive rights.
Is there a question there, or just?
Well, my point is that feminism is not fighting for equality. Otherwise, they would mention men. You mentioned male once. Men don't have any reproductive rights. And a true feminism who believes in true equality would fight for the equal rights for men and women to absolve themselves of fatherhood, motherhood.
Okay, well, I generally make it a point not to argue with people during my speeches, but I will say that one of the greatest metaphors that I overheard is that the experience of being human is like a circle, and that as long as there is still gender aggression, that men only get one half and women only get one half of like the full human experience.
It's not right.
And
No.
I really believe that.
Right.
We should all have the whole circle.
Well, you mentioned your friend who got pregnant, and you said the boyfriend got off scot-free. He didn't get off scot-free. He had a child in the world that we don't know if he was made to pay child support for. She certainly could have got it, no problem. But he had no choice in the matter. She did. She could have gave up that child for adoption.
Okay. Thank you for your opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Other questions? Yeah.
And when you guys advocated for the gay rights group, you guys had to deal with the Westboro Baptist Church,
Yeah.
and do you guys have to deal with that a lot? And if so, how do you guys deal with that?
When
Like
you
that
mean-
kind of backlash.
Yeah, I mean, there's a part of that you actually don't see in the film that was really, really,
I think he
really
just
bizarre.
died.
Yeah.
He just
Yeah,
died.
He just passed away. That was really bizarre, which they actually came to Lubbock to protest. A long time ago, Elton John purchased Buddy Holly's glasses, a pair of Buddy Holly's glasses, and he donated them to the museum in Lubbock. And they came there for that, and then they specifically learned about us and decided to stay late and protest us. So that was the most extreme that we ever dealt with. Are you just talking about Lubbock or just in general trying to do that fight?
No, just in general with all your.
Yeah, so there was a scary one recently, doing a petition delivery about the Boy Scouts of America. So you may know that the Boy Scouts recently decided that they'll admit gay scouts. And there was just like a pack of people screaming at this den mother, Jen, and her 7-year-old kid as they were walking in and just standing on the sidewalks and like yelling gay slurs and all of these things. And Jen's sort of most powerful response that I've ever heard, she said, "Please, I don't care what you say to me about me, but my child is here and I don't teach my child to use that language, so please have some respect for me as a parent." And I thought that was really cool. But yeah, there's still a lot of anti-gay discrimination. We live in New York, and I live in the West Village in Manhattan, and there have been 3 instances of anti-gay hate crimes in the past year. So I think it's, while we're moving forward quickly in the fight for gay rights, I think that there's still a lot of hate out there. Other questions? Yeah.
You still talk about the, feminists talk about the patriarchy. What is the patriarchy? Because here those 3 teenage girls contacted the president, and the president said, "Yeah, come on over. We'll talk to you." The patriarchy wouldn't have allowed that. So this patriarchy is made up.
Okay. Yes.
I don't think you can use one example to negate patriarchy. I think there are probably limited examples of the other direction, and that's what we're talking about because it's systematic.
So then it wouldn't be even then.
Institutional.
I don't see that.
Any gains
I
back.
don't see
is
that.
what is being worked for.
I'd like you to tell me what's institutional about it, because like I said, those 3 girls, any person in this country or this world has the opportunity to make a difference. We're all doing it, men and women. And I don't see the patriarchy coming down on women or girls saying, "You can't do this." I don't see it.
We disagree. That's fine.
Well, I want proof of it. If you say it's there, I want proof.
I gave a whole lot of proof in my
Well,
speech.
because I have other, as you say, there's at the other side. Young men, 18 and over, have to sign up for the selective service. So where is the patriarchy looking out for men and boys? You know, where's this old boys club that says, let's take care of ourselves? It's not there. Sorry, I don't see it.
All right, thank you for your comments.
Switch the topic.
Great, I think that wraps up, we're out of time. I just want to thank you so much. This has been personally so inspiring, and the film is wonderful, still making an impact, and I wish you could just stay with us. Real quick, if you need us to tell your professor that you were here.
Good talking.
I actually enjoy another
Thank you.
opinion. I have boys and a husband, and
Thank you
I
so much.
understand both sides.
Yep.
The only problem with that is, I agree, I have a right to say something.
Yep.
And then I heard something about that. But the problem is, the women carry the child. That's what makes it.
Yep.
That's just.
So we have
physical.
to do the best we can in the eyes of the law. I mean, socially,
Well, sometimes
we're
laws
not
need to change
equal.
too.
Yeah.
I mean, that has been brought up. It's a flag.
You're talking about the general mutilation. I want to say the same thing. I want you to say, look, you don't have to go to another country. We do it right here every single day. They're boys.
Well, I'm not going to say that, like, if I had a discussion with you, and I don't agree with everything that I have an issue with abortion. I changed my attitude when I had children. But I do believe there's always.
Why, you were pro and
I was
anti?
pro and now I'm anti.
Okay.
I'm not totally anti.
Yeah.
You know, I'm very open-minded. I try to
gotta
take
be,
everything from every source.
Yeah.
And
It's not a great thing.
I'm not saying that we agree on everything either, but I wouldn't agree with everybody in here either.
Exactly,
But that's.
exactly.
But it's good. It's good.
You see, I'm trying to get the discussions going.
There's never. Well, I don't know that
If you're
but there-
stagnant and static like these people,
Well,
these people are on the way out.
I think it's only fair to
You know?
see sides from both.
Yes.
We may not agree,
Yep.
but it's good to bring them out and discuss them.
You have to. You have
Yeah,
to.
I do.
Because, like I was saying, equality. Look, because I'm with another group. There's lots of other groups out there, Voice for Men. But we're calling ourselves a men's human rights movement because we
I don't think
know
we're against each other.
these people are.
Well, I can't say that. I can't say that they are either. I can't say.
I can because I'm in it. And if you look up feminism, they believe in rape culture. They believe in patriarchy. Did you see that? They didn't say, "Oh, we don't really believe in that anymore." This is their mantra.
I can't.
To keep-
I can't
to-
refute that because I don't have enough knowledge in that
Yeah,
direction. To be
yeah.
honest with you, but I'm just saying, me personally, I like to listen to every side. I may not agree
But
with
see,
it.
if there was a feminism that really said we believe in equality, then I would say I'm a feminist.
Well, the thing is, I just took a.
But where is that group?
I just took a girl, and I never raised girls. Of course, I am one. I never raised.
I have a girl.
And I never thought that I'd feel differently towards her, but I do. So I don't know. It's a hard.
Yeah, it is. But I had to just come in, man, because the world's changing, and these people are dinosaurs. This is the glorious.
Well, I can't
Did
say
you know
that,
she
and I
lived with
won't.
Gloria Steinem? I did a little research. She lived with Gloria Steinem for 2 years. In her apartment.
You know, like to me, that's not a big deal.
No,
you know?
it's not. But I'm just saying that
again,
she's
like I said-
indoctrinated to the almost the recitation of, oh, we believe in this.
Well, I don't know
patriarchy.
because to me this is not a 20-minute question Q&A.
She's great. I liked her movie. I like her.
Yeah.
But I was going to ask, why did you go to feminism? Because the movie was.
When they don't call it feminism, they're open to
Right.
all inequalities. I think
Excellent.
that's a better way to go.
I think so.
That's just my.
Hey, good talking to you.
Yes, I appreciate
All right, where do you live? Around here?
I live in Eastport.
All right.
Locally owned.
I just retired, so I had a day off.
Well, like I said, everybody's entitled to their opinion, and this
Yes.
is the United States, and everybody can voice their opinions.
But it's too bad that because her movie was like not a feminist issue, it's a human issue, human rights,
Right.
sexuality, all that.
Well, that I agree.
Then why did she go to the feminism thing? Why didn't she just stick with human rights,
Well,
sex?
because that's her her, she can do that, that's her, she's.
Well, that was
we're all
a
allowed-
choice, yeah. But I find though, as soon as you go to college, all of a sudden, women have it bad, men have it all good, and then she got indoctrinated into that. See, people in my group, they're past that. They've heard all the feminist stuff. I have. I mean, I know everything that they know and more.
Well, like I said, I'm never gonna, you're never
You know,
gonna catch me
one-
agreeing 100% with any group.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
I would, just for an example, I was a registered Republican when I was younger. I became a registered Democrat. I got sick of them both, and now I'm an independent.
Yeah,
Why? Because
me
I can
too.
think independently.
Me too.
I don't have to agree with you. I don't-
Every
you
issue
don't
is
have to agree.
different.
We all have our own opinions, and we may agree with some and not others, and that's generally where I'm at. I mean, I
Yeah.
can have a discussion with you, and some things I will have to politely agree to disagree on.
All right, good talking to you.